Yeah, and then talk about that. And then number two, supplies. You're gonna need tires, weights, guide, braid, oil or lube, glue, a scale, and you call this what? I call it a micrometer. What do you call it?
Caliper.
A caliper to measure everything you have. And then I would say number three is take apart the car and become familiar with it. Get the top off of it and just take all the wheels off of it and get ready to start setting your car up. And then at that point is when I would be like, you know, I would do the guide and the braid, and then I would take the wheels and the axles out of this and show them how to set these screws, what they do, and how to get this set up, and how to look at this on this block. Get the rear tires, get them on there, explain where these came from and what they're made out of and why we use them for these tracks. So that would get us just through 3 steps, and that might just cover 30 minutes right there.
I would have enough for an hour.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Just stop right there, and then next week we're gonna get to the point of putting all this stuff on here. And
you always want to have more outline than you ever want to get through.
right. So I mean, those right there would get us a long way. So when I said you need a weight, you need a guide, you need tires, you need braid. So then I show them. You know, we use weights on this car from this brand. We use NSR for this guide, or we use these tires that we make in house here.
Lead or putty to use those examples too.
I don't think so. I think on this car.
Well, I mean, just show them.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely. And then braid, of course, and then just run through the whole setup with them, like from a very elemental kind of deal.
I did find my pre-cut braids. I'll swap them out. We'll use both.
Yeah, either way.
Show them both.
Yeah. And then just how to put them in and what's the best way to kind of approach that. I think that would get us a good start, because I mean, you got to know what tools you need and what supplies you're going to need before you even get going. Because if I just start grabbing braid and grabbing weights and all that stuff, well, wait, I need all that. You want to kind of this is what you got to start with. So I would say, what kind of track are we running? And that we can talk about plastic versus wood, magnet versus non-magnet. And then obviously that we have 2 wood tracks, and one set up from a very technical point of view and one's made for kind of high speed, and the differences in setup there. And we could just right there, cover a lot, and then go through start going through the rest. And next week we may talk about flattening chassis. We may talk about, because we can bring the flat row here and we don't have to turn it on and flatten it. We can just show them how you do it. And then putting the axles back together, shimming everything, showing what this tool is and why it's important, even though it's cheap. You hate it.
I don't hate it.
I know, I'm teasing you.
I just don't.
But I think
real need for it.
I think it's important, and then we can just go through every Tuesday. By the time we get done with the first couple segments, it'll be a complete build, and then we can talk about putting it on the track from our build, and then doing controller setup and talk about the chip. Pull the chip out of the controller and say this controls sensitivity on or the twitchiness or whatever you want to call it of the trigger. So all these things. We could go on forever. Really, this is a great starting point though, because we can show them. Oh, that's another thing. When we get the body that's kind of why I kind of wanted an original body. I want to put a body on here and use the screws that suck, and say, these are the factory screws, and let me show you what we use instead. And I'll show them. I'll take out one of my brown car over there and show them the flow to that body, because I put in the longer screws which have more play. And say, that's something again that people tell you to change out your body screws, and you just say, I don't need to do that, these work great. Well, there's a reason for that, because you can't adjust the body the way I'm adjusting the float you need to make it run. And so that it's like all those little things that add up to like a killer car. If you have a great setup car but you use stock screws, it's so hard to compete with a guy with aftermarket.
We know Ian Douglas's name. What is his friend's name?
Todd, I think it's Todd.
Ulrich.
Yep.
We need to have that wrote down.
Yeah.
So we can,
And so we're getting a lot of it from there. We're getting a lot of it from Victor Villachow. We're getting it from a lot of different folks. And then we kind of sprinkle our own little
twist in it.
Yeah, like I may find that this works good for my drive. That's another funny thing to bring up at an episode, driving styles.
Yeah.
Some guys like to just bring it in and slam on the brakes and try to get it back going. Some guys like to kind of roll it through. Some guys kind of want to slide, drift. Some guys like a real planted kind of car.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, these setups they're generalizations for.
Yeah, I don't like an overly tight car.
Right.
I can't determine where I'm at, getting close to the edge.
And then
with a car that moves on the back end, then I can tell when I'm getting ready to lose it, and I can push it and know where that limit is.
What's really funny about that is since we've gotten the black track,
Yeah.
that is on both sides of that equation. So the black track likes a kind of a tight setup, but just not too tight. But it wants it to be a little more composed in here.
Yeah.
And so what's weird is if you over tighten it here, it'll roll. If you leave it too loose, it'll handle really good, but it'll be unpredictable. Where if you go into a corner, it'll slide, and all of a sudden you'll do that like 6 times in a row, and then the 7th time it'll fold on you because the pod's too loose. There's no, it one time may go way too far and go.
Yeah.
So there's like a weird window for it. You know what I mean? And I set the window here way different than I do here. So when I said I was all disappointed, I'm like, orange LMP? It wasn't just my tires. I had spent a little bit of time setting the pod up and did some practicing and had it set up for the grip level for this track. And then I went over here and was like, it's worthless. It's just not, it'll run, but not like a pro would. I don't know how to explain it. I'm getting to that point now where I can see these little things that's why I get irritated, because I'm like, oh man, I just spent all that time tweaking it just a little bit for today.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what separates a pro driver and a novice driver, or a expert.
You want a tube of B7000 that's not all curled up.
Yeah, I'll take another one for sure. She's almost out. That's what I do. I keep on like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Ugh. I use so much of it. I got two I bought last 2 weeks ago.
I'm proud of you.
I know. Look at my invoices. You'll see glue on there. That's it. The only glue I steal from you now is super glue because I don't like using super glue.
We don't use that much.
I hate it.
Anything.
I was at first,
Yeah.
like a fiend. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I would not recommend anybody to use
Well,
super
you
glue.
can mention that too. If you're building white kits,
You do not want to do that. You'll
not
fog the
use
windows
fog
and
the windows.
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Use B7000 or regular modeling glue.
It's this. I think
And
I don't.
That may be regular modeling glue. I don't know.
I don't know what this is, but it's the best.
Yeah.
I can take them pucks and have them completely cemented down. Take a screwdriver and they go whoop, and just stretch off and break and come off. Not hurt the chassis. Yeah, I like B7000, man. It's funny you brought that up because I thought about maybe I should get a new tube of glue so he.
Yeah. Well, and you can explain like on these tires, or we can explain whoever thinks of it at the time.
Mhm.
And we gotta be careful not to talk over each other.
Yeah.
But we can explain that we cut them to depend on what track we're on.
Again.
Right now they're in that ballpark of 800, but they may get cut down to 775 or 750.
Depending on the driver and how the setup
track
is.
and the car.
Or, conversely, I may put that same exact car with a set of 830s.
Have your truck.
No, my wife's gonna come get me a little bit.
Starting to thunder.
No, that's all right. 830 would be
Well,
on here,
keep you on.
or 825, 830,
Yeah.
right? And so, again, this goes back to my very first question: where am I setting this car up?
Yeah.
If you told me, "Hey, Steve, we're running Class C on orange from now on," I would grimace. Then I'd go get me a set of 830s and go and be competitive. Now, if I went over to the black track with that same setup, it would be falling all over itself and crashing and rolling. And it won't do the S's with 830s. It won't even do the S's 780.
Yeah.
It don't like them. It wants to be like a 760, 750.
I wonder what Victor is shimming for the orange now.
As far as thousands,
Guide shims.
I wouldn't do anything under 20. I can run a 10,000 car on here, but it bumps into stuff.
Yeah.
And the way these guys run the cars, it makes it even worse, being all jacked up. So you might as well just be at 30,000 and call it good, because you're gonna be that high anyway.
Yeah.
Which again,
You see all the questions.
yeah. So again, even then,
And even if we don't get into this, or
Yeah.
even if we don't complete it,
Mhm.
if we're discussing all these different questions and all, and going down these different roads, I think that's very helpful, especially with foam tires. And talk to them about, we just need to talk about different things, like when we talk about guides, we can talk about different guides. Slot Invasion has a great guide. Some tracks it works better than others for us, in that it won't work on our black track, because the slot in the black track
a little thinner.
be too tight of turns, and it's a thinner slot than what the orange is.
Correct.
Orange track is worn and worn and worn, and plenty of room in that slot for that.
Yeah, you could probably tape two of them together and run orange.
Well, not exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm gonna check this audio and make
All right.
sure that's working. Otherwise, we may have to put a cordless mic over there.
That's fine. Yeah, and then like I said, I'll look at the tripod at home and see what I have for a mount for it,
Right.
and then what's it called? I'll bring that other thing with me where my phone mounts to it. So
Yeah.
we have another recording source because my phone, I'm pretty good at editing on my phone. I may get some good stuff out of the phone too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I think, we both need to just stay behind the table, not get out there.
Yeah.
Because you disappear when you get out there.
I'm way gone.
Yeah.
No, that'd be cool. If we build the way you build an internet deal, in my opinion, is if you
And we can announce this, that we're going to do